Is this thing on? Welcome back to the vlog, guys, and I'm super happy to have you guys here. Thank you so much for watching these videos. It means a lot, and if it makes a difference in your life, well then perfect. That's the main intention of why this channel was even created. Now with that being said, I'm going to talk about anxiety and depression today. I've had a lot of individuals reach out to me and want to know how some of my clients, or actually a lot of my clients and members inside of Elevate, have been able to overcome anxiety, depression, and also literally come off a lot of medication in regards to that. So I'm gonna give you guys some simple tips in what I get my personal clients and members to do that I coach, and maybe it can have an impact on your life. So with that being said, thank you so much for being here. Let's get to it, and we're gonna walk you guys through some simple steps that you can implement in your life that will make a world of a difference. Let's go. So number one, the first thing is good nutrition, right? What's that look like? And I'm talking good brain nutrition. And the reason why I'm saying good brain nutrition is because the brain is the master driver of what we do, right? Your brain and your gut, they're connected at the end of the day. But with that being said, they are the master drivers, right? They're gonna dictate how we feel, our energy, what our mood's like, and honestly, they're also gonna dictate how we feel in emotion, right? So I want you guys to think of this in a context of energy on what we consume, right? What you consume is basically what you're going to become. And if you're eating, a good variety of nutritional, great foods that have a great micronutrient balance, this is drastically going to help. Usually when we got anxiety and depression going on in our life, usually we have some sort of deficiency, right? Maybe it hasn't been identified, and maybe we haven't identified it with our medical practitioner. If we haven't, get routine blood work done first, and also get your hormones checked. And with that being said, also look at the things that you're consuming. What is it are you consuming? Are you simply just slamming down burgers, crappy fast foods, inflammatory oils, or are you just simply not getting enough dietary fat, right? And there's a lot of importance behind this, right? So if you look at the foods that you consume, are you consuming good whole nutrient animal proteins, right? With good healthy fats, such as omega-3s. Are you getting good fruits and vegetables in your diet, right? That look like bell peppers, that got twice the vitamin C content of oranges, or potatoes that literally have twice the potassium content of a banana, right? There's nothing wrong with good, healthy animal meats. Very, very important, right? They probably got they do have the best micronutrient profile when you compare them to anything else. So are you consuming those things? Also, are you consuming whole eggs, right? Great for choline. The other thing too is understanding and making sure these micronutrients are being checked off, and having to make sure that you're not deficient in them, such as magnesium, sodium, potassium, zinc, choline, your B vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D. Or are you guys getting out in the sun? You gotta ask yourselves these questions. So the first thing that I personally recommend is look at the things that you're consuming. They are literally going to dictate who you are as an individual and how you are going to show up, because the energy that you consume is going to be a direct reflection of the energy that you put out into the world. I hope that makes sense, but the thing that I want you to understand is you could totally change your hormone profile, and you could totally change the micronutrient deficiencies that you do have from the things that you consume. If you change that up, you're going to notice a drastic difference right out of the gate. Number two is going to be killing ants. Killing automatic negative self-thoughts, right? So I want you to think about that as well. How many conversations do you have with yourself a day? Probably quite a lot, right? We always do. We're always thinking so many thoughts in a day, and subconsciously, we just don't even realize that it's happening. But understanding those thoughts and the way that you talk to yourself is literally going to dictate your reality. What you talk about, what you talk about and what you put out to the world is what is going to happen, right? So be very, very careful of the things that you say and that you talk about. And I think the camera is moving again. There we go. Stay. So back to what I was saying, killing negative self-thoughts, right? And ants. You know what? I'm just gonna hold this thing. It's so important, right? The things and the thoughts and the feelings that you have dictate your reality, and understanding that your mental thoughts. If you think and if you really want to do something or achieve it, and you literally visualize it to the point of it already being a reality, even though that it's not, it will become a reality. So killing that negative self-talk, you're not stupid, you're not worthless, and you're not someone that can't do X, Y, and Z, whatever that means to you. You can do it, right? But you have to look at the person in the mirror and really ask yourself, who do I want to become? Who is it that, Johnny, me, what do I want to do? And who does that person look like? You know what? Tell yourself, you can do things, you're confident, you're smart, you're powerful. You know what? And I'm capable of doing amazing things. And sometimes maybe we just didn't realize that, and maybe we need to see a video just like this. So, killing automatic self-thoughts, that is tip number 2. Number 3, exercise. Movement is medicine. And the more that we know that, and the more that we understand that, it's gonna be beneficial to our health and our overall well-being. Whether that is literally coming outside, simply going for a walk, and Condo's way over there, just walking through the buildings right now, getting my 10-minute walk after I've consumed some food, right? Helps aid in digestion. But the important thing is are you getting some sort of exercise in? Now, I'm not saying literally go do a bunch of things that you hate or dislike. But what I am saying is simply get some movement in and ask yourself, am I doing some movement that's going to allow me to feel better about who I am trying to become? That could look like strength training, running, getting outside. Do something that you thoroughly enjoy. And doing so, what's gonna actually happen is you're gonna realize who you can actually become, and your true potential is gonna come through that. Who doesn't feel good when they literally look in the mirror and they literally see themselves changing? They literally see their physical structure change. And not only that, it's also gonna build up the confidence, belief, and certainty that you can do and achieve the things that you never thought you did. So many of us find it hard to stay in shape or look after our overall health because we've literally tried so many things that maybe didn't fit who we are as an individual. And then we've tried and failed, tried and failed, tried and fall. And then all of a sudden, we've literally believed and told ourselves that we can't do those things. So you getting that movement in, you getting that exercise in is gonna be another key component for you to look after your overall brain health. 4, like brain micronutrients. We already talked about like nutrition on a whole, but then we got the micro minerals as well that you could take, right? So, we got Luna right here. She wants to be in the video. Don't ya? Don't ya? So right here, it's simple, right? Some magnesium, some zinc, omega-3 fish oils, and vitamin D. Now, all those things can make a world of a difference, especially if you are struggling in those areas, right? Now, like when I said anxiety, depression, lots of the times you might have a micro deficiency. Another thing that I've also noticed and that we've talked about we've talked about because we've read it in studies, is like, this is a problem that I do have when somebody unfortunately does go full-time vegetarian. If they do it right, can you do it? Yes, you can. But also, those individuals are more likely to develop anxiety and depression than if you were eating a good, healthy diet all around full of rich nutrients and animal proteins. For the reason being is because the essential fatty acids are not being met. Now you can still make that happen, right? I'm not saying that you can't, but I'm just saying something to be aware of and look out for so that doesn't happen to you. Now, I don't think enough people really realize the importance of fats, right? They just hate how you feel, your hormones, and they're huge benefactors, essential macronutrient. And when you can fix the omega-3 to 6 ratio in your body, you will drastically get great health benefits. And something that we don't talk about highly enough, something that was actually talked about lots by the amazing Charles Poliquin, and I know he said this lots over his teachings, there isn't a single disease known to man that cannot be helped with fish oil. So, really neat, cool, important information, and also was always talked about and always taught by the most regarded strength coach of all time. So, make sure you're looking after good brain nutrients. So, me personally, 4,000 IUs of vitamin D, 400 milligrams of magnesium, 50 milligrams of zinc, and a bunch of fish oil. So I'm gonna take that right now, and then we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. Tip number 5.
Tip number 5. Number 5.
Is having a positive support group.
Or don't get too small that your wife is bigger than you.
That's a myth.
That's fact.
That doesn't happen in this household.
That is fact.
No, it's not. She's lying. But with that being said, having a positive support group. And the reason why I want to put the emphasis on that is whether you are at home and you work together and you have a business together like we do, or maybe you are just around some negative Nancy's and some negative people. And the reason why I think being a part of a positive support group is gonna allow you to be around individuals that are looking to achieve the same thing that you are looking to achieve. Now, there's some importance around that, right? Like I always tell everybody, and I tell all my personal clients or anybody that I work with, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. If you are hanging around with a bunch of individuals that do not have the best interest for you in their mind, then you're hanging around the wrong crew of people, right? If you're hanging around individuals that tear you down every time you are doing something to benefit yourself and your life in a positive manner, then you are hanging around the wrong individuals. The individuals that you want to be hanging around with in the group, in the support system that should be around you, especially when you are trying to make the best life choices that you possibly can for you, they should be cheering you on every step of the way, 100%. And at the end of the day too, right, being a part of that support system could radically change your life. So we have that in our free Facebook group and community as well. But that is step number 5. Be supported by those that are surrounded you, whether it is your husband, your wife, your children, or being a part of a Facebook group like we do have in Elevate. Could totally change your life. So that is tip number 5. Step number 6. I only had the one hand, I got the camera in the other. But with that being said, having a clean environment and having an environment that you're happy to be in, right? So just personal perspective. Here's our backyard, right? Backyard's clean. There's not a bunch of dog shit on the ground, and there's not sticks everywhere, right? We keep it up. We cut the grass. We do what we can. We're in Mexico right now, so yes, it's a little dry, but you know what? You do the best, and you try to keep your work environment and the environment that you live in as clean as you possibly can. And I say this all the time, right? If you're like stressed out and you got anxiety, lots of us, and I'm not picking on anybody, but I'm just trying to shake it up a little bit and wake everybody up, is your house is usually disorganized as well. And it kind of correlates with your finances too, right? You got shit laying everywhere, it's dusty, it's not clean. It's like, take some time and clean your environment, right? If you want to change the world, you can't change the world if you can't even make your own bed, right? So take that first step, implement that. There's a huge reward to that, and it allows you to operate in a more clean manner. Same thing when I'm talking with a clean environment. So say if you're somebody that works from like a laptop, or you're a tradesman and you're working out of a truck and you got tools and you got equipment and you got parts that you need to access, or you're working the rigs, right? Where's your pipe wrenches? Is it organized? Is it in a clean fashion? Is the rig clean? You know what I mean? Ask yourself that. Is it a clean environment? Because if it's a clean environment, it's gonna allow you and your team to operate in a better fashion with less anxiety and less bullshit going on as well. So that, tip number 6. So tip number 7 we're on when it comes down to anxiety and depression. Make sure you are getting enough quality sleep. Now, I see so many of us that we're always talking about like, oh, I can operate on 5 to 6 hours of sleep. No, you can't. Total myth, right? Huge myth, and it can't actually be done. If you really want to optimize your health, get that 8 to 9 hours of sleep no matter what. So many of us are like, well, if I get to 8 to 9 hours of sleep, I feel tired and lethargic. It's because you had an upregulation of melatonin, and the first thing that usually you are doing is, first off, you're not used to the upregulation because your sleep quality sucks already. But not only that, because it sucks, you're like, and when you do get a good sleep, you feel like you're overtired. And I don't know how many people that are watching this can relate to that, but it's because of the upregulation of melatonin. Then you end up reaching for a stimulant, and when you do that, it's not serving you any good, right? Prefrontal cortex is going to get rid of that upregulation of melatonin, so focus on forward movement first thing. Do that first thing in the morning, and I'm telling you, when you get that 8 to 9 hours of sleep combined with the morning movement to wake yourself up, you're gonna feel 100% better, right? Studies show if you get 7.5 hours of sleep as opposed to 8 in strength training, it can decrease your strength by 40%, which is crazy. Tip number 8, starting your day with an emotional gratitude, being thankful for the things that you already have. So many of us simply are going through our life and we're not grateful for the things that we had. Something that I really love to remind everybody and tell everybody is, imagine if you could only keep the things today that you were grateful for tomorrow or like the day before, right? It totally changes your perspective on life. So it's like, if you were grateful for your house or grateful for your health, imagine the next day it was taken away from you. And it really puts that presence and perspective on how well we do have it, right? Not every day is guaranteed. And every day that you wake up is a blessing. And if you can walk, talk, hear, see, and do everything, and you have the physical capabilities of literally creating your own reality, it's a blessing. It's something to be grateful for, right? So make sure you do that. And you can do it through a variety of choices. Me personally, mine is through prayer and doing a gratitude and being thankful for the things that I do have. And I also write my gratitude and my gratefulness as in how the day has already begun before it has even started, right? So it's like, I'm so happy and grateful that I had such a terrific meeting with Joe Blow, whoever that could be. Or maybe there was a specific meeting that I was supposed to have, today. But whatever your context is when it comes to that, start your day off right. And do it, obviously, after that morning movement, so your prefrontal cortex is already activated, and this is going to be a lot easier. Because lots of people have a hard time sitting down, if you're like me, that are, higher energy, and go about it that way. So, that's tip number 8. Tip number 9 is simply going to come down to stress management and understanding what that could look like for you, right? For me, when it comes down to stress management, it's simply doing something that you're passionate about, like a hobby, and allowing yourself to release and not think about all the things that are going on, right? We're so caught up in today's moments. We actually have way more stress than our, forefathers or grandfathers had ever before. Obviously, theirs was in a different sense of being the physical capabilities, but now, for us, we got things in our face all the time, right? Media, instant gratification with social media. I should be doing X, Y, Z. This individual is doing that. Self-comparison, right? There's a whole whack of things. Not even when we don't even talk about like the financial sense or everything else that we compile on top of our lives. It's okay to take a step back and not be involved in those things, right? It's okay to be present in the moment and understand, hey, I can take some time and just literally take some time for myself to de-stress and decompress and understand what is going on in my life and find solutions, right? When it comes down to stress management, we overcomplicate it. Find something that you enjoy. If you had a bad day at work, don't come home and take it out on everybody. Simply maybe go do that thing and allow yourself to calm down, because when you're stressed out all the time, first off, it's going to put your circadian rhythm out, and then you're going to have crappy sleeps, your hormones going to feel like crap, you're not going to be doing so well, and your cortisol is going to be jacked up all the time. And cortisol is not the bad thing all the time, right? It should be present in the morning, and it should downregulate as the day goes on. That's how it's supposed to function, right? So don't always hyper demonize it either. The thing is what's that stress management look for you? Is it talking to somebody? Is it doing something that you enjoy? Is it a prayer practice, meditation, working out? Do those things. They're very, very healthy. And with these tips and everything that I have listed off, you're going to be well on your way to literally kick the living crap out of anxiety and depression. The reason why lots of us have it or feel like we have it or are battling it in some way, shape, or form, like I said, it could be a chemical imbalance due to hormones from the things that we are consuming and the things that we are eating, or it could be from just the lifestyle choices that we are making, and maybe we're literally beating ourselves up and not even actually realizing it because we're not grateful for the things that we have, or we're doing the instant gratification and the comparison game, right? There's a facade of things, but implementing these steps and implementing what I have talked about in the process that was laid out will radically help you change your life, as long as you implement it, right? You can't just watch this video and then be like, hey, this is gonna help me. No, you gotta also take the action, right? And at the end of the day, doing hard shit and putting in the work, that's the only way to make things happen. I'm just fully transparent. There's no quick hacks. There's no way to like just turn a switch and it flip the other way. You have to do the work, and doing the work is gonna literally allow you to become fully optimized. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like I said, it means a lot when you guys watch these. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you guys are liking the content. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, I believe is the saying. And I will see you guys on the next video.